Get ready, go!
They journey to far lands to protect our freedom and the freedom of others. They are trained for war, but less prepared for the transition home. During deployments to war zones in Iraq and Afghanistan, our nation's servicemen and women risk life and limb, literally. Some come back from war with substantial injuries. They struggle to rebuild their lives, hindered by physical limitations. Others return with the invisible wounds of war. 1 in 5 will suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. These are our wounded warriors.
When we talk about the invisible wounds of war, we're really talking about those cognitive and mental impairments that our warriors are seeing and experiencing at a much greater level, like traumatic brain injury and combat stress, which is more commonly known as PTSD. And you can't understate the impact that that has on a warrior's ability to recover, get back into the community, or the impact on their family.
Many service members plan on making the military their career. Injuries can shatter these dreams, leaving them unsure about the future.
My plans before I was injured were to continue with my Army career. I had a successful career going and a slot into flight school to Warrant Officer Candidate School when I returned from my deployment.
My plans before I was injured was to continue my military service to 20 years and retire.
My plan before I was injured was to remain in the Army and go after the Army to be in law enforcement or a firefighter.
After my injuries, I was pretty uncertain. I had a lot of care and dependence on others.
I felt really unsure about what would be held in the future because I didn't really have a whole lot of job skills that were marketable at that time. So I was very unsure of where my life was going to be going at that point.
One word, terrified.
I questioned my future because I had to go to my C plan since I couldn't do law enforcement or a firefighter, something that I like to be physical. I had to question my future to see what I was going to do next, my next step.
In years past, wounded veterans were offered little help to get them back on their feet. But today's troops are receiving a surge of support, mainly from organizations like Wounded Warrior Project. This nonprofit assists service members with physical and psychological damages of war rebuild a sense of normalcy with educational programs, career counseling, job placement, and peer support.
Most Americans are familiar with the current unemployment rate hovering right around 9%. That number for post-9/11 warriors in the 18 to 30-year-old range is significantly higher. And the reason for the discrepancy is a lack of post-secondary education and a lack of marketable job skills. What we provide at Wounded Warrior Project are programs and services to help combat those needs.
With this type of support, these wounded warriors are making the transition to civilian life with plans for the future.
My plans for the future since attending track at Wounded Warrior Project have a bigger outlook on life. I'm studying to go into computer forensics and continue with my education in the IT field.
My hopes and plans actually came to a reality, and I'm getting hired as a contractor through the Wounded Warrior Project to teach the Introductory to Computer Technology course that I went through with TTA and through the Wounded Warrior Project. So I am getting hired to teach one of the computer classes here.
Hopes and plans for the future is taking what I've learned here at the WWP, going through their computer courses, maybe continuing and building on that and getting a degree on that.
My hopes and plans for the future is to remain with the Wounded Warrior Project, hopefully get a job with them, continue my service helping the wounded veterans.
They've seen the worst in humanity, and now they're showing us the best. Injured servicemen and women use the same determination and courage to tackle their futures as they did on the front lines. Wounded Warrior Project is a national nonprofit helping injured service members transition into this new chapter in their lives. By addressing the mind, body, and spirits of these returning troops, Wounded Warrior Project honors their service and empowers their future.
We're 10 years into these conflicts, and a very small percentage of the American public has actually put on the uniform and volunteered to serve in our all-volunteer armed services. And at the Wounded Warrior Project, we believe that it's really all of our responsibility in the American public to take the opportunity, if we didn't serve, to give back to those who have volunteered to defend our freedom.
Supported by generous donors, Wounded Warrior Project offers economic empowerment and engagement. Programs include Warriors to Work, which matches soldiers to jobs in the civilian workforce, and the Transition Training Academy, which lets participants explore jobs in the IT field and gives them training for success.
Information technology is one of those fields that's going to continue to grow over the next several years. The demand for IT specialists is going to increase. The demand for workers in the IT field is going to increase. And it's one of those fields that at entry level, our warriors, our students, our spouses and caregivers can really make a lot of money at it.
Wounded Warrior Project also created TRACK, an innovative year-long education program that helps veterans prepare for college and accomplish goals as a team.
TRACK is a 12-month education and employment program. We have centers in Jacksonville, Florida and San Antonio, Texas, and we provide a comprehensive, holistic approach to the educational process. Basically, what warriors do is they'll attend 2 academic semesters at a local college, and then they'll participate in an externship with a local business. Integrated into the whole experience, we have an on-site health and wellness coordinator that works with our warriors to help them overcome the physical challenges that they may have to develop a health and wellness lifestyle. We also have an Apex Peak Performance Director that works with our warriors in areas such as goal setting, imagery, attention control, things like that, all of which, coupled together, the health and wellness piece and the peak performance piece, will help them in their educational experience and in their externship experience.
Wounded Warrior Project relies on the support of donors who want to honor these brave Americans for their service.
What the American public needs to realize, what all of us need to realize, is that as the wars leave front page news, that the injuries that our warriors are sustaining are lifelong, and they're going to need the programs and services we provide through Wounded Warrior Project for the rest of their lives.
Wounded Warrior Project is here for the long haul. Our warriors are coming back for more with catastrophic injuries, with injuries that we can't even see, with the post-traumatic stress, with the traumatic brain injuries. And we need to be here to support them for the long haul, and I think our American public understands that, and they're here to support us to do that.
The great thing about giving back to Wounded Warriors is that it helps not only them, it ultimately helps our communities. We all have warriors living in our communities who may be struggling right now. And the great news is, with the right amount of support, we can get them back to a level where they're not only successful, but they'll become community leaders and really help out your community grow and thrive.
For more information about how you can support our Wounded Warriors, visit woundedwarriorproject.org.